This is It's a Gamble podcast where I talk with people who took a gamble in life and won to inspire others like you to take that gamble and invest in your future. I'm your host, Amari Gamble, and this is It's a Gamble podcast. Hit the like and subscribe button if you're digging the podcast. Let's go. All right, y'all. Welcome to another edition of It's a Gamble podcast. I'm your host, Amari, and today I have a special treat for you guys. This dude right here, he's been a big part of my life. He was a mentor. He is a mentor. He's a big brother, businessman. He does it all. Shout out to WeCleanGarages.com. You see it. If you don't see it, you can't. You blind right now, but
Right.
it's right there in the present. But we're gonna talk about WeCleanGarages.com a little later. But for now, I want to talk about this dude. This dude played an integral part in the hip hop branding in the '90s. I mean, when I say he was behind the scenes, but a lot of legends out there that you listen to and just like marvel over or whatever. He was right there with them, and I can't wait to get into this conversation. Y'all, welcome my brother from another, Mr. Solomon Peterson, aka King SoL. What's good, fam?
Oh man, like I said, man, I'm so proud of you, man. You know how I feel about you and your
no
talent.
doubt.
So
No
congratulations,
I
congratulations.
appreciate, man. I appreciate. I want to start from the beginning, man.
Okay,
You're based in Miami right now.
correct.
All right, but the beginnings start in New York. Am I right?
So no, 100%, 100%. So I grew up in New York, in Long Island, in Lakeview to be exact, and then I made my way to South Carolina. My mother
Okay.
ended up moving the family down. I was totally against it because I had no interaction of the South other than Dukes of Hazzard, Gone with the Wind, etc. So, life puts you in positions where you kind of don't have a choice. And we ended up making our way down. And when I got to town, first thing I said is, I want to get down with who is the best DJ, who is the most talented. So my brother and sister were already there. They turned me on to DJ Lord Kasim. They turned me on to you. And literally, almost, it's not 40 years, but, 35, 37 years, something like that.
Right.
So it's been friendship ever since then.
Yeah, exactly. So like when you was in New York, I know you got a lot of connections in the Long Island area. And I remember Dr. Dre original concept, and the promo picture was a crew of cats, and you were one of those dudes.
Yes.
Expound on that.
Sure. So hip hop, it was always, entertainment was always my first love. And around 15, 16-ish is when hip hop became real. So on Long Island, there was a radio station called WBAU. It was at Adelphi University in Garden City. Now, keep in mind, keep everything in perspective. There was no internet. There was no social media. Literally, like it did not exist. We barely had BET on Long Island at that time. So I say that because WBAU was our outlet. So there was a show called The Operating Room, which came on Monday nights. I want to say it was 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., something like that. And even on school nights, you would sneak it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Fast forward a couple of years, one of my buddies who lived a couple doors down from me was like, oh yeah, Dr. Dre works at this place called Crazy Eddie. Back then, the equivalent would be as Best Buy is today.
Right.
And I said, wait, what did you just say? He said, yeah, Dr. Dre works up there. He's the manager of the record department. And I was like, all right, I'll be back. So where you going? I literally went there that moment and got a job. Well, applied for a job. Then I ended up getting a job. I got a job downstairs in what's called the returns department. So when you buy something, you don't want it, you bring it back to get a store credit. I was the guy that would do that. I only did it and I had just graduated high school. I only did it because I wanted to meet Dr. Dre. That was the single motivation. I didn't care. I had to meet him.
That's
Fast
crazy.
forward, I kept bugging him, Dre, let me come up to the station. Let me come up to the station. Finally said, all right, you can come up. When he said you can come up, I want you to answer the phone, write down the dedications, and then you give it to me. This is pre-shout out. This is before the phrase shout out.
Wow.
So I did it. That night, I met the Beastie Boys, Flavor Flav, I want to say Run DMC. That was it. So for the next 2 years, I worked for free. Let me say that again. For the next 2 years, I worked for free in the nighttime just because I wanted to be down, because I loved it that much. So at the time, I was working in the bank full time. I was in a teller position, and then I got promoted to go to different branches and stuff like that. So that was my daytime reality. But my love and passion was entertainment. Fast forward, I earned my way into Dre's group called Original Concept. I was one of what's called Prospect Pump Committee. So myself and the late Ozzie Gibson, we were like not flavor, but we were like the hype men of the group. So it was Dr. Dre, T Money, Rapper G, and DJ Easy G. Fast forward, we went to Europe. That was Queen Latifah's first tour. So we left out of Newark Airport, and Latifah and her mother, they were there. And Dave Funkenklein, he's also passed. He was the one that put it all together. Wow. So we went over there. We were in Europe for 2 weeks. KRS-One was on the tour. This was when he was married to Miss Melody. So I had the time of my life. The craziest thing is my palate was so immature that for 2 weeks, 15 days, 3 times a day, I only ate McDonald's because I was so immature that I'm not eating this Christian show. When I came back, I didn't eat McDonald's for 3 years. So that was the beginning. I can keep going. It's your show.
Oh my God! Look, I was just before we started this interview, I was like, I'm about to interview SoL.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know SoL, but I do, and I know. I said when I interview SoL, I really ain't got to say nothing. I just got to say, just
press record.
This dude is walking. This is the Black Larry David, y'all. I bet he was Larry David before Larry David. This is the Black Larry David. I told him that a long time ago. I was like, you are him.
Thank you.
The adventures we had, it was amazing, man. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that right there is legendary, just hearing that story alone. Yeah. So we're gonna keep it going. But so you was in Long Island. What did you interact, like, did you know like De La and all those cats back then?
So with that, after we came back, Dre started to blow up. And what I mean is that's when he got Yo MTV Raps. So obviously the college radio station, had worn out its welcome for him. He grew to Yo MTV Raps.
Wait, before I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but before you go into that, how did y'all get signed to Def Jam with the Original Concept?
So that was Dre before me. Dre used to he used to DJ for the Beastie Boys. So I can take no credit of that. I was just fortunate enough that, you talk about me being your mentor. Dre was and is my mentor. And he took amazing care of me, meaning never put me in harm's way, never did anything, other than just be a big brother to me, even to this day. So he had that set up. Dre is very musical. Like I said, he was a DJ for the Beastie Boys. He had his own group, Original Concept. I mean, for those that are watching this, if you really go research Original Concept, Def Jam, you'll be amazed at what a pioneer Dre is, because some of his songs literally were the foundation
Oh
of
yeah.
hundreds of
Of
hip hop songs
yep.
and dance songs. Like, I'm not exaggerating. So just go do your basic
Word.
research. Original concept, Def Jam, Dr. Dre,
Y'all,
DOCTORDRE.
no doubt. Original Concept was one of the first groups signed to Def Jam, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. So you was still in New York. This was what? Not was this was in the 80s.
Right. So
This
this was 87 to 90, 91. This is everything I'm telling you is this window that happened in that short period of time. I had just graduated high school. Like I said, my mother and my brother and sister, they moved down to South Carolina. I stayed up there pursuing my dream. And once Dre left WBAU, he turned over the reins to Wildman Steve. Wildman
right.
Steve had his license, so I was still a part of the show. And because I was a part of the show, and I was so hungry and just eat, sleep, and drink, that's all I can do was hip hop. I would go out and create interviews and bring people to the station. We Coolio came up, rest in peace. My best thing ever was interviewing LL. I met
Dope.
LL somewhere. I don't even remember, like, Queens, New York, Manhattan, one of those places. And it's like, yo, you gotta come to the station. You gotta come to the station. Blah blah blah. Matter of fact, Dre had a nightclub. I think it was called Encore or something. It was in Queens. LL lived in Queens. He pulled up in the red Audi just by himself, which was like, like, just saw this guy in American Bandstand, like it's like a superhero walking in front of you. Anyway,
Word.
super nice, the whole nine. Told me to connect with his manager. I connected with his manager at the time, which was Brian Latour. Bugged him, set it up. LL came, did the interview, and I interviewed him for like 2-3 hours. And like on my tombstone, it'll say I interviewed LL.
And
Like,
yeah, that's
oh man, it was amazing. And the craziest part is after the show, him, my boy, that dude, we went to a nightclub in Manhattan and we saw him and he remembered me. Now,
wow.
whether he really did or didn't, he told me, I know King Saul, blah, blah, blah. Oh, like, oh, my world, like,
yeah.
oh, life was,
Yeah.
man. So fast forward through the outlet of the radio station, WBAU. This is also the home of Spectrum City, which was Keith and Hank Shockley, Chuck D, Bill Stephanie. That's where Public Enemy was, and I don't want to say born, because they used to have a mobile sound crew. They would go around and DJ parties and things like that. But that was the thing that took them to the next step. That's where Public Enemy, quote unquote, was born, where they came from.
Wow. Yo.
So,
Oh my God.
yes.
I was
Just
not
tell-
expecting all this, y'all. This is bananas.
So
Yeah.
fast forward, different groups would come up. Jay-Z came up a couple of times. This is when he was with Jazzo, okay, when they did Hawaiian Sophie. So he came up, he had the black Reeboks, the high top with the strap on it. Like, it's like that stuff, you don't forget that stuff.
Word.
De La Soul was from Amityville. Okay, so every state, every area has counties. So WBAU was in Nassau County, Amityville's in Suffolk County. So for you, that would be the equivalent of Greenville and Spartanburg.
Word.
Same concept. So they came up to the station, and we did their first interview with them.
The
So it
first.
became really, really cool. And they always showed me love and everything. In fact, Costa Noose and I have literally the same exact birthday, to the day, the year, and everything.
Wow.
So yeah, that's another crazy one right there. They put me in a video. I was on one of their albums. I did a skit for Saturday via Prince Paul. Busta Rhymes, Leaders of the New School. They used to come up all the time. I used to give Busta Rhymes rides home, literally.
Wow.
He had the sheepskin jacket. What you see today is exactly the way he was back then. Obviously, more seasoned, more traveled, but that enthusiasm, that love, that hunger, that sincerity, that hasn't changed. That has not changed. And then I would moonlight, so I would be at WBAU, then I'd go over to WRHU, which was at Hofstra University. So Garden City, Hempstead is kind of like um, what's the name of that?
What, trying to compare stations?
Well, no, I'm trying to compare neighborhoods, cities. So Hempstead was hood.
Okay.
Garden City was where Susan Lucci from All My Children used to live.
Okay. I
Kojak,
got
Telly Savalas
you.
used
Right.
to live. Okay,
Wow.
so just to
Okay.
kind of tell you,
So what were you doing at Hofstra?
same thing. I didn't go to the university. I just went to the station. Jeff Foss, rest in peace. He had a show called The Prospect Pump. No, that was Dre. Um, Jeff Foss's show was called, it was P5. I forget what
Was
the
it a
acronym.
hip hop show?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, crazy thing is he was this Navy SEAL, probably about 6'4", 6'5", Caucasian man, but he knew more about hip hop than I did.
Wow.
And it was sincere. Like, it wasn't an act. He wasn't wearing a uniform. He truly digested it. So between those two, that's how Coolio, like I said, Run DMC, LL, obviously Public Enemy, De La Soul,
Stetson
Coolio.
Sonic. I know Stetson Sonic was coming.
Well, if they did, I never met them.
Okay.
I never met them. So
Okay.
what do you call it? But through that, and that allowed me other opportunities. So
Right.
fast forward to the next level, which was once Dre was on MTV, he finally put me on the payroll, and I was his personal assistant.
Dope.
So with that, then I was at UMTV Raps a couple times a week in Manhattan when they were taping it. I was on UMTV Raps at least a dozen plus times. I was in a self-destruction video with everyone, with KRS-One, Heavy D, Stetson Sonic. So I did meet them, my bad, through Khan, the guy used to wear the gloves.
Right.
And one time, remember, we were in Def Jam, and we're in the meeting. It was myself, Dre, T-Money, maybe Rapper G, and we're in there with Russell Simmons. And they're talking business. I'm in the back of the office, but still in the office. They're like right across the desk from each other. All of a sudden, boom! I'm like, what happened? Yeah, boy! Flavor comes busting.
Wow.
Flavor comes busting in the meeting.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So Flav been Flav since day one too.
100%. Matter of fact, he started at WBAU.
What?
Yeah, and because like within the African American community, when you are shorter, when you are darker, you better either be good with these or good with this. And he was amazing with this. He used to be able to snap and Jones like nobody's business, and that carved his lane.
Wow.
I remember one time I was we were in front of Def Jam, and Dre had to run in real quick, so he said, just wait here for the Jeep with the Jeep, so this way we didn't have to go park. And I'm sitting there, minding my business. All of a sudden, boom! Like, what the hell? And it was this Mercedes that bumped into us, and they got out. I got out, and it was Jam Master Jay.
Wow.
I was like, yo! He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, all right. Rest in peace, Jay. It was him and his boys. What am I gonna say?
Yeah, that is
what am I gonna
crazy.
say?
Jam Master Jay.
Wow. Yeah. One more story. There was this nightclub. It was a historic black club called Bentley's in New York City, and I'm standing there. At the time I had a little bit of fame. I had the Def Jam jacket, so I'm feeling myself. And all of a sudden, somebody bumped me like this. I'm like, yo! It was Mike Tyson.
You say
Mike Tyson after Mitch Green. Mike Tyson.
Wow.
When he did that, I said, "Oh, Mike, I'm sorry for standing in your way. My bad." Now, mind you, I'm 6'3.5", so I'm looking down at him. But he's like wide as a bus.
Yeah.
My bad, Mike. I'm sorry. I should have seen you. I should have had the eyes of the.
That's crazy, yo.
Yeah. That was everything. That was everything.
So what about EPMD? Did you ever connect with
Oh
those
yeah,
people?
yeah. I mean, so met EPMD a couple times. So in the Biggie Small song, when he says, have more, stash more cash than Burt Purdell.
Hmm.
Okay, you know the line I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Burt Purdell. I don't know if he's alive or not, but he was like the accountant for the stars.
Okay.
Madonna, Big Daddy Kane, EPMD, everybody. So Dre at one time, that was his accountant. And that's how I saw a lot of people also up there. Eric Parrish. They were from Long Island. They were from like Anderson, if you will.
They were from
As in Long.
Brentwood. It was that? Is
Yeah, they're
that
from right. They're from
okay?
Brentwood. I mean, just as a
Okay. Got you.
yeah,
Got you.
yeah.
Got
So but yeah, them. Funniest thing is because obviously I'm a frustrated rapper. I wish I had your skill set and spec skill set. Um,
you.
so I was in a showcase with Redman before he was Redman. You know,
Wow.
he got it, of course. I don't try to pretend like I wasn't even anywhere close, but we were there together.
Wow. Reggie Noble. Wow.
Mr. Noble, Mr. Noble.
That is crazy. Yo, you started this off with a bang, yo.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, after all that,
Yes.
you did, like you said, your mom moved to South Carolina.
Correct. So next step was everything was going well with Dre. We actually ended up not only having Young TV Raps, but then we were on WBLS, which is historic. It's still around today. It's been around since at least the 60s. Black owned, at least then. Then their competitor, which was 98.7 KISS. So we used to be on BLS. Dre had a show on BLS. Then KISS made him a better offer, so we went over to KISS FM.
That's
So
what Red Alert was at, right?
Exactly. 98.7 Red Alert. Exactly. Yeah, I know Red very well. Dougie Fresh. You were with us. Chill Will,
Right.
Miss Jones.
No doubt.
So what do you call it? We had that. And then they were in the process of putting together the movie Who's the Man? So during the interim, as I was leading up, Dre and I had fallen out.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything other than more of just like an insubordination on my part. Dre put me in a position. I went ahead and made a move without consulting with him. And I had to be taught a lesson. And the lesson was I was suspended for a week. And then when I was suspended for a week, I kind of lost some privileges. And then being 19 or 20, I was like, man, I'm out. So then I left.
Wow.
Yeah, I walked away. I was supposed to be in Who's the Man also.
Wow.
So I ended up coming, when I said in the beginning, life, humbles you and it does what it does. I came down south. So I went from Long Island, New York, all the way down to Greenville, South Carolina. And then that's where I met you.
Wow.
With that, the love never left. So I was able to be a contractor doing street promotions. This is like at the beginning of street promotions.
So okay, when you came to South Carolina, was street promotion, I mean, that was the thing as far as like before the internet. People don't know. A lot of the kids nowadays, they don't even know what street promotion is.
Correct.
So kind of break it down to how you even entered that path.
100%. So today, you have a business. We clean garages. You have a business. You're an artist. You have anything. You want to promote it. It's the 1, 2, 3 punches. Go to social media. Back then, early 90, there was no social media. There was no internet. Okay? So the way you got the word out is you would take whatever your product was. You'd go to the local barbershop. You'd go to the local nightclub. You go to if they had hip hop in the city, you go to the radio station. You'd go to the park. You'd go to at the time they had record stores. You'd go everywhere you could where people who like hip hop would potentially be congregating, and you had to promote. You had to put up posters, bring out stickers, you name it. So that was what they called street promoters. So we were like the grassroots, getting the buzz in each market. Mine was North and South Carolina. And what we would do is we'd build up the buzz big enough so then the record label would come in with their muscle and their resources, and then they would take it to that next level.
Wow.
So, as you're a witness, we had different people come through. I was literally the first person to bring Wu-Tang Clan to North and South Carolina, like
You
in
you
history.
was. And actually, that was the first. Remember, they said that was the first thing they ever left New York. That was the
Right.
first time.
So you remember better than I do.
Yeah, that was the first. That was their first time leaving New York,
Right.
going on that with you.
So there you
And
go.
and,
So
and they weren't the headliners. It was the Alcoholics.
exactly. So yeah, because Alcoholics and Wu-Tang were on Loud Records. That was Steve Riffin.
Yep.
And the crazy part is we brought them to this club called Club 7. Rest in peace, R.L. Youngblood. He used to be a legendary promoter in Greenville, South Carolina.
Right.
It was a small club downtown, and it held 300, 350 people as per the fire code. And what do you call it? Everyone's standing there like this. The whole time they're performing.
Wu-Tang
2
Clan.
weeks later, oh, I love them. Yo, they were just here. They were just here.
Yep. Wu-Tang
So,
Clan. I was a
yeah,
witness. I
so
saw that. But you remember when we
100%.
went to A&T and they killed it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Remember we saw Biggie up there? We were on stage with Biggie. When that was when Party and BS was out.
Yeah.
It was a club called DYH or something like that in Greensboro.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So
I mean, we're gonna get into all this too, but
okay.
your street promotions company, you paved the way for a lot of artists. I mean, just name some of the labels you were working with and the people that you connected with.
Sure, every label. So for example, I worked with Death Row. And there was a guy by the name of they called him Fade, but his name was last name was Duvernay. I think his name Fabian Duvernay, right? So he was my point of contact. And we did Above the Rim, did Tupacalypse, we did Doggy Style. Doggy Style was like I was walking around with a truck full of gold because at the time the demand was so crazy. I would use Doggy Style, right? I would use the Doggy Style promotion as an example to get this plate. This might have been whack, but I'm like, yo, I'm gonna give you this, but you got to do this, right? So this was rapper whack, 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 but this was my. You want this, and this was Snoop coming off a deep cover,
right?
Snoop coming up, it's like. It was just insane. Like, only thing that came close to that since then, in my opinion, was Nicki Minaj with her first album. As far as the hype and the, again, that's just my opinion. So, Loud, Capitol Records,
Tommy Boy. Nervous. I mean, you were the man. Wild Pitch.
That's Wild Pitch, right? Of course, Stu Fine and MC Search. But here's a real good one. So remember, what was the name of TNT? Right?
Oh yeah,
TNT. Okay, this was a group called Cash Money Click. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cash Money Click. Great guys, met him for the first time, but their breakout star was Ja Rule.
Yep.
So we had Ja Rule in Greenville.
Nobody
Humble as anything. The nicest guy on the planet Earth.
And he had a lot of hair.
Exactly. I remember talking because
who was the DJ?
Scientist?
So
no.
Who was the DJ for Cash Money Click?
Not
you don't remember?
No. Wait. Rob Swift.
Irv Gotti.
Well, did he come?
He was their DJ.
But did he come?
Yeah, he was with them.
Irv
Gotti was the DJ.
No.
I promise. We got it on video. We have it. Irv Gotti was the DJ for Cash Money Click. Yes, I remember that. I remember being with him because we was digging for records and stuff. Yes, Irv Gotti.
Okay, listen, I believe you. I
Irv Gotti was there. That was their first time going on the road.
Right.
When we got them, and Irv Gotti was the DJ. He was the man playing the records.
Wow. Okay. Because I
We
remember
have it on video. We got it on. If we could, if only. I wish you would have kept the
I
film.
know. I know. I remember speaking to Irv on the phone
No,
because
Irv was the DJ. He was
it,
the DJ. That
it
was
was a
It was a skin. It was
controversy.
a smaller. It was a young Irv back then.
Right. Heavier, etc.
Right. Yeah. He was.
Um,
But yeah, he was. He was there with
that's
Shaheem.
crazy.
That was that one with
Right,
Shaheem.
Shaheen. Right.
Goody Mob. Was it Goody Mob?
Oh,
OC.
yeah, OC. Right.
Goody
And I
Mob was
give
with
you
him too, wasn't he?
right. So I give you credit because I wasn't up on Goody Mob at the time, and you pulled my coat to them, and they ended up being the nicest guys. CeeLo, Cujo, Gift. They even put my name on their first album and everything.
Yep. I mean, I will say this: our hip hop adventures were like, I, I can't. They were priceless.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will say this too, and I'm not blaming you, but I was in college. I was in college during this time.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I got hip hop, and I'm gonna finish school, and back then I was wild.
Right.
And you were trying to steer me in the right path, but I was like, I'm doing this hip hop, and it messed me up as far as the school goes. But I don't blame you. I don't blame hip hop neither. I blame myself. But it was a lesson learned, and like I said, you always would try to steer me, and you'd be like, "Yo, you sure? You
right?"
Because you was like, "Yo, I'm going here. You want to go?" I was
right.
Like, "Yo, I'm going."
That's like
I'm saying, yo,
a kid.
Exactly, yo. I mean, honestly, man, you showed me so much, man. And like I said, the opportunity, it was an opportunity of a lifetime at that time because we were on the road all the time. And
thank you.
Yeah, you showed me the way. You took me to New York, and
right.
Look, yeah.
So for the people watching, so we were in New York. We were in New York City. We were at Sony Studios, right?
Go ahead.
So we're at Sony Studios, and we're sitting there. We're just, chopping it up. All of a sudden, this one woman walks in, walking a dog, and we look at each other like, "Yo, that's Liza Minnelli."
We bugged out, y'all. That was bananas.
She just walked right past us, hi, and I was like, "What?" Like,
yeah, that was crazy. Liza Minnelli. That's somebody you never.
Exactly. We're never going to cross paths. There's no reason for us to cross paths.
Liza
but the
Minnelli.
thing is,
for us to even be talking about Liza Minnelli is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So the thing is this, and if what I want everyone to get out of this entire interview is, you have to love what you do. You and I, like you said, we went on crazy adventures. We would have went to Iowa. It didn't matter because we loved past tense, present tense, future tense hip hop. And it's so funny that, well, ironic, we're doing this in the 50th anniversary year because it's, even though I'm not active, I'm still like a big cheerleader of it. I just watched LL last night, well, whenever this airs, but I watched him on July 4th, and he and the Roots. They were on.
They killed it too.
Yeah, they were on. Right, they did an excellent. They were on NBC, and they did a great medley because they're going on tour this summer.
Right.
It's just like, I'm so happy and proud of the guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. That was crazy. Man, yeah, your story is crazy too. I mean, you need to write a book.
Thank you. Well, I need you as like my ghostwriter or something, because my head is like, what? Irv was there?
Irv was the dude. He was the liaison for those guys. He was like making sure they was in check. You know what I'm saying? Just like when Wu-Tang came,
right.
Remember? Divine. Yep.
Right.
Divine was the one. He was doing what Divine was doing. He made sure, you know what I mean? They was all, because the Cash Money Clique was some wild cats.
Of course.
It was some wild cat. And what's his name was with him too?
Mike Geronimo?
Not Mike. Yeah, Mike was the one. It was really Mike Geronimo that you was promoting. And Cash Money Clique was like how you were just saying. if you're gonna promote this dude,
Exactly.
he was Cash Money Click was unknown, and Cash Money Click had I can't think of his name right now, but he nice, but he from Queens, and he was
Royal Flush.
exactly
Okay.
Royal Flush was there too. Royal Flush,
right?
Ja Rule, which nobody knew back then,
correct.
And but it was Mike Geronimo who you really were promoting for this whole gig, and we got interviewed. You remember that too?
No, of course, but part of all of this, like I know we're jumping around, but again, this just goes back to the love. We haven't had this conversation in forever. There were 3 DJs that, not just me. Yes, I was the leader, if you will, but it was a team at the time. You know, you were a big part of the team, and so we put on DJ Shakem, who DJ'd for Bow Wow, Blackstreet, Teddy Riley, and then most recently and currently New Edition / BBD. Okay, DJ Scientist, who used to be your DJ, he DJs primarily for Yin Yang Twins.
And he DJ for
Lord Kasim.
He DJ for Lil Jon.
Oh, DJ for Lil Jon too, right? DJ Lord Kasim, I connected him personally with Master Ace.
Yep, that was Master Ace's. Yep, right after.
It wasn't just me, but like, you know, there was many layers, and that was the exciting part.
So how did that happen? With how did you connect Lord Kasim with Master Ace?
Master Ace? Going back to street promotions, Delicious Vinyl, that was one of the record labels. So I had Farside, Delicious Vinyl. Well, Delicious Vinyl, the label, Farside was the group, Master Ace Incorporated at the time. So they came on tour. They came to the Carolinas, started in North Carolina, worked their way through South Carolina. They ended up doing it 4 times. So Ace and I became really, really cool, like good people. And fast forward, I was managing DJ Lord Kasim at the time. So I was like, hey, look, you need a DJ. I got a guy. I connected them while they were out on the road, and that was kind of like an audition. And the next thing you know, he goes on the road with him and everything, TV, the whole 9 for a long time. So it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Lord Kasim is nice. Shout out to Lord Kasim.
100%.
Shout out, fam. I hadn't talked to him in years, but he definitely is one of the pioneers in the area of South Carolina as far as hip hop.
So what was so interesting to me about South Carolina is growing up in New York, you grow up in this bubble, right? You're inside the bubble, and the rest of the world doesn't exist. Okay, that's the mentality of a New Yorker. If you're not a New Yorker, whatever. Back then, I don't know about now, but back then. So when I got to the South, and I saw how many basketball players came from this, I was shocked. Kevin Garnett, right there in Malden. Jermaine O'Neal, Columbia. Shammond Williams, Greenville. You know, there was one guy that played for the Nuggets way back in the day, but he was nice.
Alex English.
Alex English, right. I was like, I didn't know you guys have ball players. My point of bringing that story up is it's just like with the DJs. Look at the 3 DJs we just named. You follow? 2 out of the 3 are still active to this day, supporting themselves, taking care of their family, living out their dream. But this was something that started 30 years ago.
That's facts.
You know, so it goes back to the love and the passion. I saw Shakem. He came to Miami, and I saw him. It was at the end of April this year, 2023. The same guy I saw then, he came a couple of years ago. I saw him then. Same guy I knew 30 years ago. Humble as hell.
Yeah, he
doesn't have a big head. He didn't let anything change. If anything, he's like, yo, son, like.
Yeah, it's shocking to see. Yeah, Shy is a humble giant.
Right.
He's a humble giant. Shout out to Shy.
Of course. Love that brother. My point of bringing that up is that just truly, truly underscores how special what we had at the time was.
No,
You
no.
know, when you look at Spec, your partner, love Spec. He's a doctor.
Yeah. That's crazy. I know.
He was nice then. He's still nice, but he literally is a doctor.
Yeah.
He's
That's
still doing
crazy.
hip hop. He took
Yeah.
his passion and his
Yeah.
profession, and
Right.
he's living a dream. It's like you cannot write, you cannot make this stuff up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but because he loves what he does, look at what he's doing now.
Wow. That's amazing, man. I mean, and like I said, you came to South Carolina and you made some moves. I remember I don't know if you remember this. You remember that day we went to Columbia to see Prince Ice. We just
Right.
walking in.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Pete Rock
I
and
remember.
CL Smooth were
Yep.
leaving. They were
Yeah.
leaving right when we walking in.
That's your idol.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh my God. That was bananas.
Right. What's his name? P Rock was talking about his girl crashed his car or something like that.
That was, man,
Yeah.
that was, it was so many highlights like that, you know, being around you. That day we went to New York
Right.
and got picked up at the airport by T Money. Man,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm on. I'm on. I'm on. You know, that's your boy. But I'm like, yo, this T Money from Yo MTV Raps. I'm in his Jeep right now.
Right. He
You
had
know
the
what I mean?
Pathfinder. He had the silver Pathfinder.
And he took us straight to the studio, MTV
Right.
Studios, and we right there. I'm right
Right.
there on the set of Yo MTV Raps. Ed Love and
Exactly.
Dr. Dre right there. I was like,
Exactly.
yo,
Yeah.
that was crazy. You gave him the record. He
Yeah.
said, I'm gonna make sure. And Ron G was on there.
Yeah.
DJ Ron G. And he spent it. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And it
I
came on
know.
TV. It came on TV, man. That
Yeah.
was you definitely, man.
Well, I mean,
For us to come from a place where I'm from Greenville, South Carolina,
correct.
which is unknown to a lot of people.
Right.
But it's becoming a bigger city now. It's like a mini Charlotte.
No, of course.
Charlotte,
Exactly.
North Carolina. But back then,
Yeah.
when we were doing it,
Right.
it was the land of nobody.
Correct.
But like I said, with you coming here and bringing the hip hop aesthetic to the area that nobody didn't want to hear,
Right.
you were like, yo, I don't care. I'm shoving it in your face.
Right. Well, and see, the thing is, what's great about that is good people are good people. I love you to death because you're just a good person.
Word. And
The same way we're talking about Shakim, that's how you are. The same Amari that everybody sees now, seen on the records, did production for Tribe Called Quest, etc. Same guy. You know, obviously older, more mature, but that same, his soul, that's what I'm trying to say. Your soul has never changed.
Trust me, and it's
know?
the same. It's the same with you, man. I mean,
So that's the destiny. That's the
Word.
reason why. And then you take something that is so special to so many, which is hip hop. Like, we're not talking all the other stuff. We're talking the true expression of hip hop. That's what brought us together.
No
Because
doubt.
if I didn't love it, I don't meet you.
That's
If
real.
you didn't love it, there is no Amari to meet.
That's real.
You know? So just like I worked for 2 years for free with Dre, you decided, hey, I'm going to put the degree on hold. I'm going to roll, but you have no regrets because look at all those experiences that have shaped your musical career. You know, like you have the new record out now. You know, you're independent on purpose.
No doubt. Because of you.
You know?
It's because of you. Because I mean, like I said, you showed me so much during our time together, man.
Right.
And you always stressed that too.
Yeah.
Be your own.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was your philosophy to this day. You never was like, yo, I got to go get a job. I'm going to do this on my own.
Yeah, you have to. Well, speaking of which, so you remember when beginning stages of Greenville, this is when Positive K had the song I Got a Man.
Mm-hmm.
We were literally taking the cassette singles, taping them together, the sleeve, and we was trying to sell them because he had just left First Priority and he was branching out on his own. And that song ended up exploding. I connected him with certain people. He blew up. God bless him. But those are just, at the end of the day, my belief is singular. You have to be independent. You have to have your own ownership. You can partner with people, but you should always have your own entity, your own intellectual property.
Right. Yeah. Yo, what did you do with all that stuff because you had mad uh from records to
I know.
vinyl and
So to your point, the journey of an entrepreneur, the journey of being self-employed is the best and the worst roller coaster you'll ever go on in your life.
yeah.
Because those highs are amazing.
Yeah.
But those lows, it's like,
Word.
And throughout the process, you know, your money goes up, your money goes
Right.
down, you move, things
And
get
so
lost.
okay.
That's just the truth of it.
Right.
You know?
Right. I can respect that. It's funny because I look back at the stuff that you had and just now how people want it now.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you had every record that was being broken back then.
Yes.
And not only that, I remember you had the Puffy, when Puffy put the Big Mac.
Oh yeah, that was another one. So just quick throwback to that story.
Did you actually ever speak to Puff?
I did one time. I was in New York City. It was during the New Music Seminar. This is when Craig Mack had just broken with Flavor in Your Ear. So he did, you know, like at McDonald's, they have the box for the Big Mac.
Right.
He did the same exact idea. And it was called Big Mac. And they had like, on one side was Craig Mack, the other side was Biggie. Biggie wasn't known yet like Craig Mack. Craig Mack had all of the steam at that moment. So that was the promotion. So they made it look like it was a hamburger, but it was a cassette.
Wow.
So he was standing on his chair. We were at the Marriott Marquis, talked to him a couple quick minutes, and then that was about it.
Wow.
So, but to your point about having a bunch of stuff, two of the things I was able to save was my gold plaque from Above the Rim and my platinum from Death Row. It had all the artists on there.
Oh wow!
And when my son graduated college at 2 different points, those were the gifts that I gave.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, that was very important because he always loved it growing up, and he didn't know it was coming. So I think he had gotten his associate's degree or his bachelor's degree. I gave him one, and when he got his master's, I gave him the other.
Wow.
So, you know, maybe he'll pass it along to his son.
No doubt. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The memorabilia you had, man. Like I said, it's crazy because we don't think of it back. You know, back then we're not looking at it like, okay, this one day this might be
correct.
Just like, you know, talking about the project that we did together. Who would have thought 30 years later I'm looking and people are still asking about the project we did, and
nothing could be finer, you know. So what he's talking about is there was we did an independent song, so I was always the executive producer, all up in the video.
And the idea, man, look, you would, because when you came to me, I was like, man, what are you talking? I don't want no.
Right. But that was. But when you look at all great teams, it's always the same thing. You know, the business is like, yeah. And then the creative is like, no. You look at DMC. When they first got the name Run DMC, it was like, no, you're going to ruin us. Now, the name Run DMC is etched in history.
You're right.
But what's so funny about that song is somehow or another, I forget the exact transaction of the business, but I was able to finagle legitimately.
Yeah, you really did.
The recording studio for us to record the song in exchange for something. I don't know if it was promotion or something.
Yeah, you got that free studio time. Yeah,
right. We got free studio time, legitimate. I still have the 2-inch reel here with me. That's the other thing.
And you know the engineer of that song. You remember Fanatic?
Yes.
You know who he ended up producing?
Who?
Lil' Kim. The dun 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 dun. He produced that.
What?
He moved to New York and he ended up producing that.
Wow.
I know you see me on the videos. Yep.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah, he produced that. The dude that was engineering our joint in when we went to North Carolina to record the song.
once again, hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, so as Rakim said, doesn't matter where you're from; it's where you're at.
Yeah.
And if you're here and you're here, you can be in Antarctica. It doesn't matter. You're gonna find a way.
No doubt. It's funny
You
you
know,
said.
even to the point of with the song, "Nothing Could Be Finer." We did that first,
Yeah.
and you know, we blew it up as much as we could. The thing is, in business, no matter what, you have to have some form of resources. You know, money, talent, connections. You know, we had connections, we had, you know, talent. We didn't have any money back then. But fast forward, no shade or disrespect, but my opinion, PD Pablo comes out, North Carolina. Man, that's a great idea. Where'd you get that from? But he had a real machine behind him.
Yeah, no doubt.
You
But
know?
yeah, that's right. What year did we make that? Was it not what 92, 94?
Yeah, exactly. In that window. In that window.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Those were the days.
Yeah, well, you know, and what's great is I'm so proud of you that you never let your dream die.
No doubt.
You're getting better and better. I have
Right.
my opinion on what I'd like to see you do.
Right.
But that's an off-camera conversation.
No doubt.
You know, you and Spec.
Yeah.
One day we're gonna, before it's said and done.
Before we're in the old folks home.
Right. Come alive. We're gonna be like Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence.
I know, right? Oh my God. Yeah, man. But yeah, we've seen a lot, man. And like I said, man, just to even be able to remember those times that lets you know how deep it is, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because like I said, with you, you were my Larry David before Larry. You were my Curb Your Enthusiasm before Curb Your Enthusiasm, because you were comedy and seriousness at the same time. I was like, yo, this dude is something else.
It was,
but you know, we
amazing.
We did our thing, man, and we still. Oh, let's talk about We Clean Garages. What's going on with this back here in the back?
No, of course. So, independent, you know, all I did was just take music and go from music to just true business. Okay. So music business is two parts. It's who's on stage dancing, who's behind the scenes, who's in the curtain. So I just did the same thing. So after I ended up leaving South Carolina, I was there 14 years, been in Miami 19 years. Ended up, when I got here, flat broke. My wife was a nurse. She was holding it down. I had to do something. So I have a mentor in Atlanta, and he was turning me on to some different things. So I started doing door hangers. So when you go home and there's a door hanger on your door, I used to get contracts for that. I went to Hawaii, all of Texas, probably 40 out of 50 states across the U.S., where I would get the contracts. I'd go get the guys. We'd put them out. I'd do the reports, take the pictures, make the money, on to the next city and state. So that was going well, actually went really, really well. And then when we had the first recession back in 08, 09, when the bottom fell out, everywhere I went throughout the U.S. doing door hangers, I always saw that somebody's garage was always messed up. It didn't matter if you had a $50,000 house or a $5 million house. Somebody's garage was always messed up. So I said, one day I'm going to do that. I just never had the time because the other business had me so consumed. Well, you know, reality kicks you in the butt. You only have two options. You can sit around and cry about it, or you can just say, all right, let me wipe myself off and get back up. So my wife is from South Carolina. We live in Miami. Every summer, she and the kids would go back to go visit her family. I said, I got to do something. So when I went back to go get them, I put an ad out on Craigslist. And there was a customer in Taylor, South Carolina, who said yes. Now, mind you, never done it before in my life, not professionally, right?
Right.
Set it up, took the same concept that I would do with the door hangers, and I did it with this. Got two local guys, put them in white shirts, black pants, went and got my tools and stuff. We went over into Taylor's, and we did the job. Now, the crazy part about that story is the lady who hired us wasn't there. she was having surgery, so she was at her sister's house. Her husband and her daughter were at the house. Her daughter was the stepdaughter to her husband.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at the time they were Latin and he was Taylor's.
Still,
So,
I got you.
so he was a state trooper.
Okay.
Right? So we pull up and he's
Yeah. Right.
Number one,
Make
most
America
men don't want anybody touching their garage.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a male ego thing. Number two, my skin is brown, his wasn't. He's like, who the hell are you? I'm like, well, just here to clean the garage.
Make America
so anyway,
great again.
We're doing it, right? We're doing it.
Yeah.
It starts to warm up. Everything's going well. About midway through, I'll shut this speak now. Whoa. He and the stepdaughter got into it. She was 17. She was and he was like, I was like, whoa, no. You don't understand. If we don't finish, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
So, that was my first experience. And from there, I was hooked. So I came back home. Fast forward, October of 2012, I living social. Same thing as Groupon.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, let me do it. They said yes. Christmas Day of 2012, we ended up going on Living Social here in Miami. Sold about 50 or 60. That was it.
Wow.
So from Christmas Day until June of 2013, we would do Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, Atlanta, like just, hey, let me go nationwide. Meanwhile, I'm still a one-man band at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So nationwide means everywhere that they advertised, we were going to promote. They said yes. June of 2013, we sold 5,000 deals.
Wow.
We sold so much, I couldn't answer the phone for 1 week straight.
Wow. That's
so
bananas.
It was a blessing and a curse. So from 2012 to 2014, we used to do the daily deal sites, Groupon, Living Social, Man on the Moon, you name it. There was always smaller ones, different parts of the country. So from there, so now we've just been doing retail where we don't do the daily deal site. And then we got a reality show coming out, hopefully next year, first quarter, if all goes well, called My Neighbor's Garage. So all of the stories we talked about music, I got equal as many stories as doing garage cleaning and organizing.
Yeah, I remember you told me about you did some dude who won the Super Bowl or whatever. You went to
yeah. Robert Bailey Jr. We went to his house. Super nice guy.
That's dope.
Went to Nelly's house out in Calabasas.
Wow.
Miss Jackson was there. He wasn't there, but his Maybach was there, and gorgeous house and everything. Different entertainers and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
But I just took the same spirit and essence of music and brought it into this.
No doubt.
No
doubt. WeCleanGarages.com. Y'all see it?
Yes, sir.
Hit it up. You need that garage fixed, cleaned, whatever. My man SoL can make it happen for you.
That's correct. We clean, we trash, we organize.
Yeah, you see it right there. The 1, 2, 3. This brother has been on point since day one.
Thank you.
Since day one. Yo, man, I love you, man. I
love
appreciate
you too, man.
I appreciate this moment. This right here was epic. Just to catch up with you, man. It's always a blessing and always a good time to
definitely. So
to
before
see.
we go, just anyone that has watched this, understand what you just witnessed was the following. Amari started his podcast, right? I'm always, keeping my ear to the street with him, staying on top of what's going on, etc. He put out a podcast with Spec, our brother. He hit me up yesterday. We're doing it today. Yep. There was no script. There was no outline. There was no, we're going to talk about. This was just all natural and organic. So you're looking at over 30 years of friendship. True,
no doubt.
Genuine
Brotherhood.
love, brotherhood.
Yeah.
And if anybody takes anything away from this, just take this. When you have special people in your life, don't let them go.
Word up.
I only have 2 handfuls of friends in this world. Everyone else are associates. And Amari is one of my friends.
Word. And it's like I said, we brothers, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and yo, this was like I said, man. We could talk forever.
Of course.
It's like because I know it's some stuff we missed, but it's all good. We'll do a part 2 because I know,
Yes.
like I said, your knowledge is key for a lot of cats that don't know the history of hip hop. This dude is a walking almanac, damn, with the old school encyclopedia joints.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the key thing is to be coachable.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, I'm your mentor, but I have 2 mentors.
Word.
You know,
Word.
the minute somebody's like, "Well, I know it all," then you've lost.
Exactly.
I don't care if you're fixing cars, if you're selling insurance, whatever you do in life, you need a mentor because the mentor is going to tell you the truth. It's going to have your best interest at heart and not do anything to hurt you all at the same time.
No doubt.
You know,
and that's why I love the fact that for those that don't know, my real last name is Gamble, but this podcast is called It's a Gamble because that's the type of people I wanted on the show. I wanted people who I know who took that gamble in life and just said, yo, I got to do what I got to do. But if I do it and I succeed, and even if I don't succeed, I did it. I tried. And you are definitely a living example of somebody who's been through it all. And I salute you, bro.
Thank you, man.
I'm going to end it on that note, man. Y'all check out my man, Solomon Peterson, WeCleanGarages.com. Go back and spread the word out. It's a Gamble podcast. Hit the like and subscribe button. And, I'm going to come back with another beautiful guest like my brother right here. All right, fam. We out.